Hi there. Third question. I'm going to skip the title for this one. My production company logo is meant to resemble a stick figure. It's the most commonly known use for creating basic animation designs, and the bowman was more to represent the dynamic and smooth flow of movement people usually see in 3D animated films. I picked the bowman animation for my logo and company as it seems to fit the style of both animated characters and heroic identity in a fictional story, similar to that of Robin Hood and Legolas from Lord of the Rings, if you know what that film is. Yeah, anyway, considering the films it requires a lot of animators and developments in the film in order for it to work, I would expect the dev team to be credited before the actual voice actors themselves. As voice actors aren't actually seen, only heard in the films, you can't have animated films without the actual character development and the animators themselves. Moving on. Production companies create, plan, and develop media products, usually distributing them in many varieties of ways and styles depending on the type of products they create and sell. My production company creates animated films usually in the form of sci-fi or fantasy, or both in some cases. Distribution companies, however, don't usually make their own products. Instead, they help production companies distribute their products for them instead. This benefits both companies in the process. As my film is animated, I would expect the ideal company to distribute my product to either be DreamWorks Animations or Disney's Pixar. Both produce and distribute many varieties of 3D animated films within the last 2 decades, and always look forward to see new inspiration to create new films. Usually, making stories and plot lines takes quite a lot of time to plan, so if I were to introduce my ideas to the distributor, they might consider if that product would be an ideal for them to use and make it official. With that said, however, my products, as I said, inspired by the Bionicle story, there could be some copyright infringement issues between Lego and Bionicle and whoever the company who helped me distribute it. So there might be some shareholders and lawsuit problems. But with that said, my product can still be changed in the way that you can portray the story and the morals of it in my opening. The way I could fund this product medium would be to use funding from sponsorship, or, if the distributors agree, an investment from them. Alternative methods of funding could be done through synergy, maybe product endorsement through merchandise, and, if lucky enough, possibly even from Lego themselves to fund the film. Now, a good example of a film that was done in a similar way was Toy Stories. Now, here's why. Toy Stories was the first full-length film to be completely animated. At the time, it had no competitive market whatsoever, but also it had a great risk if things didn't turn out as expected. Nonetheless, Disney saw a good potential in the idea and gave it a shot, and they provided the funding and resources necessary for the dev team to help develop the film. And at the end, it turned out to be a very successful film indeed. The way Toy Story was able to be made as a film, thanks to funding and support from the top-range movie medium distributors, would be ideal for my product. It could be seen as a successful film if it received the same care and attention as Toy Story did. Well, that's the end of the third question. I would move on to the fourth and fifth question in a different style format. It would be difficult for me to... fourth and sixth. It would be difficult for me to explain how.